Evening, everybody. Welcome to our third concert of the season here in December at Westboro High School. Welcome to our high school winter band concert. Tonight you're going to hear our concert band, our symphonic band, and our mega band, where we combine everyone for some traditional music. My name is Christopher Martin. I'm the Director of Fine Arts here, and it is my pleasure to welcome you. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our wonderful administration, Superintendent Allison Borchers and Principal Brian Callahan for all of their support for our program throughout the year. We can't do it without them. I would also like to thank Westboro TV, who is live streaming our concert tonight. It'll be available on YouTube tomorrow. I would also like to thank our amazing band director, Mr. Evan Doyle, who'll be working very hard tonight. He's back there. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. And we hope that you'll join us next Tuesday for our final concert of the season, which features the chorus and our orchestras and our symphonic orchestra, which will feature some members of our band program in that as well. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the Westboro High School Concert Band. All right, you ready? Thank you. That first piece
was one you might recognize from Bandorama. We played that back in November. It's called Burn After Reading. And it's a lot of fun to play. It's a really suspenseful, kind of cinematic kind of piece where it twists and it turns. There's layers upon layers of things going on in this middle section. They're kind of trading around a theme throughout all the chaos, and you can kind of make it out and hear what's going on there. It's a lot of fun to play. This next one sort of settles down a little bit. This is a piece that is really just a lot of fun to play. The composer, Kate Nishimura, was trying to create a sense of that sort of hopeful, longing feeling, kind of a nostalgia, but at the same time an anticipation of what's to come. And she was thinking about like how sometimes when you're driving down the road, if you're driving west in the evening, it almost feels like you're chasing the sunlight, trying to keep on to the, clinging to the day a little bit. And so she tried to capture that sort of feeling in this piece, and appropriately it's titled Chasing Sunlight. Thank you. Concert band's final selection before they leave the stage, or to return later, will be a programmatic piece of music. Programmatic music is that which is intended to tell some sort of story there's something called absolute music for music's sake, and it might evoke emotions, and the composer might even intend some emotions, but like, it doesn't matter. What matters there is that you listen to the music and you experience however you experience it. But in programmatic music, the hope is from the composer that they're able to sort of communicate a story. And this one takes a little piece of American history. Back in 1947, in Roswell, New Mexico, there's a series of sightings of UFOs. People started to claim seeing lights and celestial beings in the sky and things like that. And it became sort of a hotbed of paranormal activity. And people go there still to this day to like see what's happening. It's become a big part of their tourism and everything. But this is meant to sort of capture that feeling of an arrival. So you have this sort of mysterious beginning that gives way to sort of an energetic, almost driving idea as perhaps our visitors are arriving. And then in the middle it kind of becomes peaceful, but still somewhat uneasy, somewhat mysterious, as you hear this sort of plaintive melody from the flutes. Only to then later give way to some other energetic ideas as we realize, okay, we've got these visitors, and they're not so bad. They're not here. It's not like an Independence Day situation. It's more of like a friendly visit to Earth. They just wanted to see what it was all about. And so this is Roland Barrett's Roswell, 1947. Thank you for your patience. Symphonic Band's first selection tonight kind of gets us into that holiday spirit. This is one by the late Robert W. Smith. He's written countless pieces for band, and he came to prominence when I was a young band student in the 90s, and until his death just a year or so ago, was really kind of carrying the water and writing as much rap as anybody all the time, and constantly in demand as a composer and as a conductor. And this one is a really interesting take on green sleeves. What you're going to hear is first the alto saxophone, some French horns, and the tenor saxophone and euphonium. You're going to hear them presenting it in sort of a strange way, but you're also going to hear an interesting piccolo solo and some cool sounds that kind of are reminiscent of Celtic music. You're going to hear some sort of traditional sounds from that kind of folk idiom. This is Robert W. Smith's Celtic Carol. Thanks, Mom. Now we're going to slow things down a little bit. And just kind of actually purely by coincidence, maybe by accident, this one also happens to be holiday themed, but this is a lovely British carol, and a setting of it by Percy Grainger. He's one of the best known composers in the band. And this one wasn't originally for band, it was originally written for 2 pianos. And Doug Stoddard took all of Grainger's conventional practices and scoring techniques and utilized them. He's a very avid student of Grainger, and took Grainger's techniques for band and put them on this piano piece and made a lovely setting. that just really creates a lot of beautiful moments for the band. And you're going to hear this melody presented 2 times, basically. It's just a nice short little something. You'll hear it first mostly in woodwinds, a mix of winds. You'll hear soprano saxophone and flute and the French horn. And then later on, you're going to hear it in some of the lower brass voices and clarinets and trumpets and saxophones as we go. This is Percy Granger's Sussex Mummers Christmas Carol. For Symphonic Band's final piece before we combine the groups, we are going to play a 3-movement work. That means that there's 3 separate selections within this one greater work. It's called, I just froze, A Longford Legend. It's called A Longford Legend. And the movements are meant to sort of work as a tribute to some of the great British band composers, Percy Grainger, Gustav Holst, Ralph Vaughan Williams. You're going to hear a lot of those sort of sounds to it. But this is a more modern piece by the composer Robert Schubb. Customarily, we, in the classical music world, and this is considered classical music, this piece, we would typically hold applause until the end of the 3rd movement. Now, I'm not going to be too fussy. If you're going to clap for us, we're going to be grateful for it. But the custom is typically, in between movements, we just have a brief pause and we reset. Don't be shy. I've clapped in the middle of many symphonies in my day. You'll be in good company. So for our first combined selection, this one is a lot of familiar wintry tunes that get played a lot this time of year. You'll hear them in the stores, on the radio, in my cars, I cruise down the street. This is a medley of 3 tunes. You're going to hear The Most Wonderful Time of the Year, you're going to hear Winter Wonderland, and you're going to hear Let It Snow. If you feel the urge to sing along, if it happens to be your favorite Christmas song or holiday tune, don't hesitate. You can feel free. I will not judge. Here we go. Our Winter Wonderland. Thank you so much. Now, before we begin our last selection, I want to thank you, first of all, for all making your way here tonight, or for those of you who are tuning in on Westboro TV. Thank you for your support and checking out what these marvelous young people are doing. They work hard day in and day out to get this stuff together, and I think it's a testament to them as individuals, but also their family units and their communities, and it's great to be their teacher here in Westboro. I also want to make sure, in addition to the copious thank yous that Chris gave earlier in the program, I would like to also add to that thank you to my colleagues here in performing arts, Allison Greer, Kristen Chartier, and Melinda Jazz. It's been so great to work with such awesome people every day and get to bounce things off each other and just sort of help each other through the hard times and enjoy each other's successes. I also want to thank, of course, my own family unit, my lovely wife Avery and my two phenomenal, I'm told to say, slay daughters, Emma and Hadley, for supporting me through these endeavors as well. This one is a favorite of mine and perhaps of yours, and it's sort of topical here in Westboro, since this was once like a sleigh manufacturing capital of the world. For us to close our program, as we always do, with Leroy Anderson's Sleigh Ride. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. In a moment, the house lights will come up, and you'll be able to move about your cabin. And look forward to our next performance at some point in March. I forget the exact date, but it's on the website. And we'll see you then. Thank you very much.